Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm so excited you're joining me for today's live. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? That notification bell is your best friend if you want to catch all of my story times. So today, wow, I've been trying to figure out how to even introduce this one. I've shared some wild stories on this channel before, but what I'm about to tell you is hands down the most insane breakup story you will ever hear. No exaggeration. This story has everything: love, betrayal, drama, a surprise twist you'll never see coming, and an ending that still blows my mind. I've changed some names and details to protect people's privacy, but everything I'm about to share actually happened. Get comfortable, grab some snacks, and maybe a tissue or two, because this is going to be a roller coaster. So let's set the scene. This story is about my friend. We'll call her Olivia. Olivia had been dating this guy named Jack for about 3 years. They met in college, had the whole cute love-at-first-sight moment at a party, and were basically inseparable ever since. They were that couple everyone was jealous of. You know the type. Finishing each other's sentences, posting those sickeningly sweet Instagram captions, planning their future together. Jack was thoughtful, charming, successful, on paper, the perfect boyfriend. About 6 months ago, Jack surprised Olivia with a trip to Italy. A week in Rome, Florence and Venice. Romantic, right? He told her to pack for warm weather and bring something fancy for a special dinner. Olivia was convinced he was going to propose. The trip started out perfectly. They were staying in these amazing boutique hotels, eating incredible food, wandering through ancient streets hand in hand. Olivia was sending me pictures every day and they looked so happy. Then came the night of their fancy dinner in Venice. Olivia spent hours getting ready. She bought a new dress, had her hair done at the hotel salon, the works. Jack took her to this exclusive restaurant right on the Grand Canal with a view of the sunset. He seemed nervous all night, kept checking his phone, touching his pocket. After dessert, he asked her to take a walk with him to a nearby bridge. Olivia's heart was racing. This was it, the moment she'd been dreaming about. When they got to the bridge, Jack turned to her, took her hands and said, "Olivia, we need to talk." Not exactly the words you want to hear in that moment, right? Olivia told me her stomach immediately dropped, and what came next was, well, let's just say it wasn't a proposal. Jack took a deep breath and said, "I've been keeping something from you, something big." Olivia's mind was racing. Was he married? Did he have a secret child? Was he moving across the country? But what he said was so much worse. "I've been living a double life," he told her. "I have another girlfriend, and she's pregnant." "I know. Can you believe it?" Olivia said she literally couldn't process the words at first, like her brain just refused to understand what he was saying. But it gets worse. Jack explained that his other girlfriend, let's call her Mia, lived in a city about 2 hours away. They'd been dating for almost 2 years. So for 2 out of the 3 years Jack and Olivia were together, he was seeing this other woman too. He would tell Olivia he was going on business trips or visiting his parents, when really he was staying with Mia. He had a whole separate life there, friends who knew him as Mia's boyfriend, a drawer at her apartment, even a separate Instagram account with a slightly different name. The level of organisation and deception is just, I can't even wrap my head around it. This wasn't just cheating, this was calculated, long-term, elaborate deception. But you're probably wondering, why confess now? Why bring Olivia all the way to Italy just to break her heart? Well, Jack told Olivia that Mia had unexpectedly gotten pregnant. They hadn't planned it, but he decided he wanted to do the right thing and commit to Mia and the baby. And he claimed he respected Olivia too much to ghost her or make up some excuse. He wanted to give her closure face to face. Respect. Closure. After living a double life for 2 years. The audacity of this man is just unbelievable. So there's Olivia, standing on this romantic bridge in Venice, thousands of miles from home, having just discovered her entire relationship was a lassie. I see a lot of you in the chat asking how Olivia reacted. Well, that's where this story takes its first unexpected turn. Olivia said her first instinct was to push Jack into the canal. Can you blame her? But she didn't. Instead, she just stood there in shocked silence for what felt like forever. Then she asked one question. Does she know about me? Jack looked at the ground and said, No, she doesn't. That was the moment Olivia realised Mia was as much a victim in this as she was. This other woman was pregnant, thinking she had a faithful partner, not knowing her entire relationship was built on lies too. Now, I don't know about you, but I think most people in Olivia's position would have exploded, screaming, crying, making a scene, and no one would have blamed her. But Olivia did something completely unexpected. She smiled. She told Jack very calmly that she understood, that these things happen, and that she needed some time alone to process. Then she kissed him on the cheek, turned around and walked away. Jack was completely thrown off. This wasn't the reaction he was expecting. According to Olivia, he actually called after her, like he was disappointed she wasn't making more of a scene. But Olivia wasn't being understanding. Not at all. What Jack didn't know was that something inside her had snapped. Right there on that bridge, Olivia decided she wasn't going to let Jack walk away, thinking he'd handled this well. She wasn't going to be the heartbroken ex he could tell stories about later. No, Olivia had a different plan. She walked back to the hotel, packed her things, and booked herself into a different hotel, using the emergency credit card her parents had given her. Then she ordered room service, took a long bath and started plotting, because there were still 5 days left of their romantic getaway, and Olivia wasn't about to waste her first trip to Italy crying over a cheater. I see a lot of you in the chat already guessing what might happen next. Some of you are close, but trust me, you have no idea how wild this is about to get. The next morning, Jack was frantically texting and calling Olivia. She had blocked him on everything: phone, social media, email. He had no idea where she was or what she was doing. Meanwhile, Olivia was enjoying a cappuccino at a cafe, using the hotel's Wi-Fi to do some research. And by research, I mean she was trying to find Mia. Now, Olivia isn't a stalker or anything, but she's scary good with social media. It didn't take her long to figure out Jack's fake Instagram account. From there, she found Mia. Everything Jack had said was true. Mia had recently posted a subtle pregnancy announcement. A simple picture of baby shoes with the caption, "Adventure begins in 7 months." Olivia told me she sat there for a long time, staring at this woman's profile. This woman who was carrying Jack's child. This woman who had no idea she wasn't his only girlfriend. And Olivia made a decision. Mia deserved to know the truth, but Olivia is smart. She knew that if she just messaged Mia out of the blue, Jack could spin it as some crazy ex making things up. She needed proof. And she had plenty: 3 years of photos together, text messages, emails, the receipts for the Italy trip. She compiled everything into a folder, but she didn't send it. Not yet. Instead, she did something truly unexpected. She texted Jack. One message. "Meet me for dinner tonight. We should talk this through properly." Jack responded immediately, relieved she was willing to meet. He probably thought she was going to beg him to reconsider, or at least let him leave Italy feeling like the good guy for being honest. But Olivia had different plans for dinner. She got dressed up, looking absolutely stunning, and met Jack at a different fancy restaurant. He was nervous, fidgeting with his napkin, looking like he'd barely slept. Olivia was the picture of calm. She smiled, ordered wine, for herself only. She made sure to mention that Mia wouldn't want Jack drinking since she couldn't, and made casual conversation. Jack was confused. He kept trying to bring up the breakup, trying to explain himself further. But Olivia kept changing the subject, talking about the tourist sites she wanted to see, asking about the food. Finally, over dessert, Jack snapped. He demanded to know why she was acting so normal. Wasn't she upset? Didn't she hate him? and that's when Olivia laid it all out. She told him exactly what she thought of him, in terrifying detail, but with perfect composure. She told him she knew about Mia's pregnancy announcement. She told him she had compiled all the evidence of their relationship, and then she told him her conditions. The chat is going crazy right now. I see your theories, but let me tell you what actually happened. Olivia gave Jack 2 options. Option 1. Jack could tell Mia the truth himself, the whole truth. About Olivia, about the double life, everything. He would show Olivia proof that he'd come clean, and then Olivia would never contact either of them. Again, option 2. If Jack didn't tell Mia within 24 hours, Olivia would send her the entire folder of evidence. And not just to Mia, to Jack's parents, his boss, his friends, everyone. Jack was stunned. This wasn't the heartbroken woman he expected. This was someone in complete control, someone who had outmaneuvered him at his own game. He tried to negotiate, tried to charm his way out, even tried to threaten her back. But Olivia was unmoved. 24 hours, that was all he had. Then she got up, wished him a pleasant evening, and left him sitting there with the bill. When she told me this part of the story, I was in awe. The composure, the strategic thinking, the absolute boss move of it all. But Olivia wasn't done. She went back to her hotel and waited. She didn't think Jack would actually come clean. Why would he? His entire relationship with Mia was built on lies. Why start telling the truth now? But Olivia was prepared. She had set up email notifications for when Mia opened the folder, if she had to send it. An hour's passed. No word from Jack. Olivia assumed he was scrambling, trying to come up with a plan, maybe even booking an early flight home to damage control in person. Then, at hour 23, something unexpected happened. Olivia's phone rang. It wasn't Jack. It was an unknown number. She answered, and a woman's voice said, "Is this Olivia?" It was Mia. Jack had told her. He had actually told her everything. Mia wasn't calling to yell at Olivia or accuse her of anything. She wanted to compare stories. She wanted to know how long Olivia had been with Jack, what he had told her about his business trips, whether there were any inconsistencies in the stories he'd told them both. It turns out, when confronted with the ultimatum, Jack had crumbled. He'd called Mia and confessed everything. And Mia, understandably devastated, wanted to hear Olivia's side. What followed was one of the strangest conversations of Olivia's life. 2 women, 1 pregnant, comparing notes on the man who had betrayed them both. They talked for hours. They cried together. They even laughed at some of the absurd lies Jack had told to keep his double life going. By the end of the call, these 2 women, who should have been enemies in any typical scenario, had formed an unlikely bond over their shared experience. I know what you're all thinking. What happened to Jack? Well, that's where this story takes its most unexpected turn yet. The next day, Jack texted Olivia. He had come clean to Mia as demanded. He was devastated. He begged Olivia to reconsider, said he'd made a terrible mistake, that he really did love her. Classic. When faced with consequences, suddenly he's full of regret. Olivia didn't even respond. She was too busy making plans with Mia. Yes, you heard that right. Making plans with Mia. You see, both women had 3 days left in their respective situations. Olivia was alone in Italy. Mia was alone in her apartment, having kicked Jack out. And they were both heartbroken, angry, and in need of support. So, they did something truly wild. Mia used her frequent flyer miles to book a last-minute ticket to Venice. Within 24 hours, she was on a plane, flying to meet the woman who was dating the same man she was. Meanwhile, Olivia extended her hotel reservation and booked a spa day for 2. She even arranged for a private boat tour of the canals. I see your comments. Yes, this really happened. And no, I'm not making this up. When Mia landed in Venice, Olivia was waiting at the airport with a sign that read, fellow survivor. They hugged like old friends, even though they'd never met in person before. What followed were 3 days that transformed both of their lives. They did all the romantic activities Jack had planned, but together as friends. They ate gelato, took gondola rides, visited museums, and stayed up late sharing stories about their lives beyond Jack. They posted photos together on social media with cryptic captions that had their friends confused and Jack absolutely panicking. He kept trying to call both of them, but they had both blocked him completely. By the end of those 3 days, both women had come to the same conclusion. Jack had taken enough of their time and energy. They were ready to move forward, without him. When Olivia and Mia returned home, they had a plan. Mia had decided to keep the baby, but wanted nothing to do with Jack beyond necessary co-parenting arrangements. Olivia helped her find a lawyer to work out a custody agreement that minimised their direct contact. As for Jack, he tried everything to salvage something from the wreckage. He sent flowers, wrote lengthy apology emails, even showed up at Olivia's apartment unannounced. But the walls he had built between his two lives had completely collapsed, and there was no rebuilding. The most ironic part? Jack's elaborate scheme to keep his double life secret ultimately resulted in his most private betrayals becoming very public. Not because Olivia or Mia exposed him vindictively, but because their unexpected friendship became a story of its own. Mia started a blog about her experience, anonymous but detailed, which has now become a resource for other women dealing with infidelity during pregnancy. Olivia channeled her experience into volunteer work at a women's shelter, helping others rebuild their confidence after betrayal. And Jack? Last Olivia heard, he'd moved to a different city and changed jobs, apparently having your ex-girlfriends. Become best friends makes it difficult to control the narrative about why your relationships ended. I see a lot of you asking about the baby. Well, Mia gave birth to a healthy baby girl 3 months ago. Olivia is actually the godmother, believe it or not. They joke that their friendship is the best thing Jack ever gave either of them. So that's the story, the most insane breakup. Story you'll probably ever hear. A 3-year relationship ended on a bridge in Venice, a double life exposed, and an unlikely friendship formed from the ashes of betrayal. What I love most about this story isn't the drama or the revenge element, though let's be honest, Jack deserved every bit of what he got. What I love is how Olivia and Mia refused to let this man's actions define them. They took control of their narrative and turned a devastating situation into something empowering. Sometimes the worst betrayals lead us to the best people. Sometimes the most painful endings create the most beautiful beginnings. And sometimes the plot twist we never saw coming is exactly what we needed all along. Alright everyone, that's it for today's story time. I hope you found it as incredible as I did when Olivia first told me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Drop a comment letting me know your thoughts, or if you've ever experienced anything remotely similar. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be hanging out in the chat for a bit if you have any questions. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and maybe do a little social media detective work on anyone who's going on business trips a little too often.